friends, Miss Maddie here, and I am sharing a brand new STEAM project with you guys today, courtesy of Oz Arts Nashville and Metro Nashville Public Schools. Now, I'm sure you guys hear about STEAM all the time, but just a quick refresher on what I mean when I say STEAM. STEAM stands for Science, Technology, Engineering, Arts, and Math. It's all about creative problem solving, inventing new ways of thinking, forming ideas. I am a local Nashville-based multimedia artist, and so I love STEAM projects because it's really similar to what I do in my own artwork. So by multimedia, I mean I'm always mixing and combining different mediums. So I might do theater and film, storytelling and puppetry. I'm always blending things together, and that's exactly what we're going to do in today's project. We are going to take a little bit of science and a little bit of history and a little bit of art, and we're going to put it all together to make something brand new. So what's our project for today? Well, we are going to preserve historical artifacts from our own lives to make color wheel inspired art. So the first thing we need to talk about is color theory. The color wheel is a tool we use all the time, and it helps us understand the way different colors are connected to each other. But who discovered the color wheel? In 1666, the renowned mathematician Sir Isaac Newton invented the first color wheel. While studying white light reflecting off of prisms, he noticed that the light reflected a spectrum of colors. So white wasn't just white. White had all the colors of the rainbow inside of it. Noting down the different hues, he believed that all of these colors shared a harmonious relationship. Pretty interesting, right? So let's look at a color wheel now and talk briefly about all of the different colors and their relationships to each other. So in the middle of our color wheel, we have what are called primary colors: yellow, red, and blue. And so every color that we see in the entire world can be created using these primary colors. Now the next part of our wheel, right outside of the primary colors, shows the secondary colors. So this is what happens when we first mix two primary colors together. So blue and yellow make green, red and yellow make orange, and blue and red make violet. So those are the secondary colors. Then outside of the secondary colors, we have tertiary colors. These are the colors formed by mixing a primary and a secondary color. That's why the hue is a two-word name, such as blue-green, or red-violet, or yellow-orange. So keeping that color wheel in the back of our minds, let's talk now about artifact preservation. So artifact preservation is something that we've done for years and years and years, and it's saving special artifacts or objects from history to help us remember certain periods of time. And so these are the kind of things you might see in a museum. And an artifact could be anything. It could be a document, it could be a piece of clothing that someone wore on a special day, it could be an object like a coffee mug or a pin. It can really be anything. So we are going to look at artifacts from your lives now. Now, as you guys know, we are living through a major historical event right now. The COVID-19 pandemic is something that we're going to be talking about and learning and studying for years and years to come. And this has been a difficult time for many people around the world and in our local Nashville community. So it's important to take time and reflect on all of the struggles that we may personally have been through, or people around us, to think about the ways we've grown throughout this time and the memories that we have. So let's take a moment now to reflect on how much our lives have changed in this last year. Your school, your family, your friends. If you think about where you were right now a year ago and where you are now, a lot has happened. So now, following a series of prompts, we are going to collect artifacts in our own homes that represent our lives at this time, and we're going to put them together in our own color wheel. Colors are powerful and they can actually evoke different emotions, memories, and feelings. This is called color psychology, and believe it or not, you probably already associate different colors with different feelings and ideas. We're going to use color psychology to help us choose our artifacts for our color wheel. I'm going to give you guys some prompts, and you're going to have to get creative, look around your house, and see what you can find. Okay, I'm going to take you back to that color wheel now so we can get started. So let's look at our primary colors first, red, yellow, and blue. The first artifact we're going to find is going to be red. The color red is often associated with passion and love. So you are going to find 1 to 3 red objects in or around your home that can represent love or passion. Here are a few of my red items. I found this little fake flower, which reminds me of my love for nature. A red paintbrush because I love making art, I love to paint. And my favorite red strawberry hat. I love to wear this to go on walks outside when it's chilly and I can enjoy the weather. Okay, now let's look at the next primary color, yellow. Yellow often represents energy and optimism. So now, can you find 1 to 3 objects in your home that can represent hope? What do you hope for in your future? So of course, this mug makes me think of hope and optimism and happiness. It's got a big yellow smiley face on it, and it's really hard for me not to smile when I see it, so I had to pick this out for my first yellow item. For my next yellow item, I have this weaving that my friend made, and this was in March or April, so really early in the pandemic when things were extra scary and stressful, and she made this for me and just dropped it off on my front door. And it just makes me feel happy. All right, and our last primary color is blue. This color represents calming and healing. This could be a blanket or a favorite pair of socks, a picture of a loved one, anything. For my blue items to represent calming, I have a folder and a pen because I love to journal. I like creative writing, and that's something for me that's very relaxing and calming. I have my little camera here because I enjoy doing relaxing hobbies like photography. And this might not look like a calming object to most people because it's a noisemaker, but this to me represents having movie parties, virtual movie parties on Netflix with my friends as a way to stay close to them and talk to them and have something that we can do together even when we're not in the same place. All right, so we should have our 3 primary colors in the middle of our color wheel, and now we're gonna go to our secondary colors. So if we mix blue and yellow together, we get green. Green represents growth. Can you find 1 to 3 objects in your home or outside of your home that could represent growth? It could be personal growth, like an achievement, something that helps your brain grow, something that helps your body grow stronger. Let's find some things to represent growth. For my green items, I have this little succulent plant, and admittedly, I am not the best gardener, but I have kept it mostly alive this year, and I call that growth, very literal growth here, because this guy has grown. I picked a pair of green scissors because I was thinking about how sometimes to grow, we have to cut things out of our lives. I've definitely had to cut out some bad habits, like spending too much time on my phone or watching TV, spending more time talking to my family, and exercising and taking care of myself. So these represent growth to me in that way. And then I picked out my Kermit the Frog earrings here because I have grown a lot this year learning to play the ukulele. If you guys know the song called Rainbow Connection that Kermit the Frog sings in some of the Muppet movies, I learned how to play that, and it's kind of a hard song for me. So these made me think about growth learning an instrument that I didn't know very well before. All right. Now we've got our primary colors, we've got our green. Now we're going to look at if we mix red and yellow together, we've got orange. So our next secondary color is going to be orange. A lot of people associate different shades of orange with warmth and fire. What's something that makes you angry? Something that makes you feel fiery? It could be something that has been hard or frustrating this last year. Here is my very first mask that I ever got when COVID started with little cowboys on it. And I'm not angry about wearing a mask. I'm happy to wear it and help to keep everybody safe and healthy, but I do sometimes feel frustrated or upset about the situation and I just want it to be over. So that's why I picked my mask with some orange on it. I also have a picture of a friend here because, of course, it's upsetting that I haven't got to spend as much time with my friends this year. And my last orange item is this little bottle of paint, which kind of reminded me of how I feel sometimes with all of these emotions kind of just bottled up inside of me. Sometimes it feels like way too much and it's just gonna burst out. Okay, we've got one more secondary color left, and that's when we mix red and blue. And this makes one of my favorite colors, violet. This color sometimes evokes feelings of creativity, imagination, mystery. It can also represent just feeling silly and fun. Let's find some creative, silly, fun objects for violet. My first violet item is this little rubber ducky that I made into an earring. This was an idea that I saw on TikTok that I thought was really cute. And this little duck reminds me to use my imagination because to some people they just see a bath toy, to other people they see an opportunity to make a fun little silly craft accessory here. My next violet item is this picture with my best friend Molly. We are celebrating Lunar New Year in Chinatown in New York. And we actually didn't know it was a celebration that day. We were just going for lunch and suddenly all of this violet and magenta and blue confetti flies through the air and fills the whole street. So this picture makes me think of sort of a magical, imaginative day that we weren't expecting at all. And my last violet item is this crystal that's just sparkly and beautiful. It reminds me to not take things too seriously and to have fun and to be curious and to just enjoy things, maybe just simply because they're pretty and sparkly. All right, and here's our color wheel. Now let's put all of our items together in order and see how it turns out. And here is my finished color wheel. I added some more items that kept walking around my house and thinking of things. And as you can see, there are all of these really special memories and reminders of different experiences I've had. My red hat, going on walks, keeping me warm, making art, missing my friends, feeling frustrated, but also feeling hope and gratitude, and growing and taking care of myself, and remembering to stay creative and imaginative through it all. Alright, so nice. You guys have your basic color wheel going now. We have our primary colors, we have our secondary colors, and what's really special is that everyone's color wheel is going to be totally different, and each object should have a special memory or feeling attached to it. The next step of this project, you've got two choices. So in order to document our color wheel, to keep it as a piece of our history, to preserve it, we're either going to take a picture of it, or if you want, you can draw or paint it. So find a way to visually capture your color wheel. A picture, a drawing, a painting, whatever you like. Alright guys, well thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that it helped you to reflect and process some of this crazy piece of history that we're living through, and thank you so much for joining me. Till next time.